Shalom. Shalom lekulam. I hope everyone's doing well. The Kavod Shabbos Kodesh. Sorry for the different time, the different hour. Baruch Hashem, let's get into it. Let's fire it up. Atfilah b'Shem Kol Yisrael for Pesach Reuven ben Yosef Asara. Baruch Abbas Yehudis. Miriam Dod Bas Chani Ucheved Dod Bas Bas Yeshir Bas Bas Sinai Reuven ben Mani and every Neshama Kol Yisrael. Let the pathways of the intellect be truly open to us and bring us to attain wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. Help us devote ourselves to your Torah in the proper way and give us the ability to clarify Torah law so that in each case we'll come to the right decision. Help us study the law codes. And that's what we're doing right now, Halacha L'Maisa. An entrance that has two doorposts but does not have a lintel. Rather, in the place of the lintel, there is an arched covering in the shape of a bow above the doorpost, or even in the case where there are no distinct doorposts, rather the arch begins curving upwards from the floor. We have to see this inside page 129, article. Thus forming the two sides of the entrance. If the arch entrance contains a space of 10 tefachim high by 4 tefachim wide, that is the opening of the arch is not narrowed to less than 4 tefachim before it reaches a height of 10 tefachim. The entrance requires mezuzah. We have to look at diagram A, which I'm unable to show you because I can't show it, and my contacts are fully dried. Baruch Hashem. Those stores that have one of the doorposts made says other doorpost that does not reach the lintel. Instead, close to the lintel, the wall is intended for amma or more, as depicted in diagram B. The halacha in the case is as follows: if that doorpost whose weight reaches all the way to the lintel, it's situated at the right of the entrance, and the mezuzah should be placed in the doorpost. And if the smaller doorpost, which does not reach the lintel, is on the right of the entrance, if the doorpost is 10 tefachim high, then the mezuzah should be placed upon it. And if the doorpost is not 10 tefachim high, before reaching the indented area, then the mezuzah should be placed on the wide area on the part that is indented. Chavra, I have to go through this again and again and again. Anyone understands Hilchos Mezuzah, please contact me and let's have a chabruta. Let's understand these halachos better. This is hard stuff. Or maybe we just got to return to it and we're learning it very quickly. That's also true. Anyways, like we're doing with Rabbeinu's Torah, and that's how Rabbeinu went through the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, but mamish, the way he read through the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, can't even imagine the way we're doing it right now. So we're learning with speed, simplicity, and without much sophistication. So we know part 3 of Sichot 76. We're talking about how much Torah one should learn and how to learn and what seder one should have, possess, and aspire to have. The Rebbe spoke about this so often that everything cannot be recorded. But what we have quoted here is excellent advice. Follow this path and you'll complete many volumes. You have a better understanding than one who tries to comprehend everything the first time. Or you may not understand the exact ways, the measurements, the doorposts, the arches, the doorposts and where the mezuzah goes, if the mezuzah goes. Or we may not understand it the first time. The second time when we return to it, Gewalt, it's new meaning, it's new understanding. I've seen this before. We all know in Sichot 27 or 28, one of those, Nachman talks about how we should be touching, every single place in Torah. It's amazing. Right when we're, quoting that Sichot, Samson comes on, we all know he touched a lot of worlds in Torah. Right, and that's what Rabbeinu tells us to do, and that's the idea of going weiter, right? Going through things with speed, simplicity, and not sophistication. You're going to get through books, you're going to get through volumes. A person who's overly meticulous can become very confused. Often he'll abandon his studies and completely and end up with nothing. Chaval. Accustom yourself to learn quickly without too much attention to detail. You will then be worthy of learning in quantity. You'll be able to complete the Talmud, the Shulchan Aruch, the Tanakh, the Midrash, the mystical books, and the Zohar, the Kabbalah, and all the other sacred works. We've already mentioned that it is good for a person to complete all books concerning the Torah in his lifetime. The Rebbe once reckoned all that a person must study each day if he has the time, right? So literally set aside a time for Torah. Eating by Torah. 1 minute to listen to the voice notes of tears of joy. 1 minute. That's all we're asking for. 1 minute. Second that. Tears of joy. Tears of joy. There we go. You should study enough each day so at the end of the year you will have. Okay, Chaver, this is where we need to open up our hearts really deep, really deep. You should study enough each day so at the end of the year, right? This upcoming Rosh Hashanah, Bezrat Hashem by all of us, you have completed the entire Talmud with the Rif and the Rosh, the 4 sections of the Shulchan Aruch, all the Midrashim, all the books of the Zohar, Tikkunei Zohar, Zohar Chadash, and the Kabbalistic writings of the Arizal. This is all in 1 year, Chevra. This is all 1 year. But maybe what Rabbeinu is saying here is that, like, wow, that's just like that Seder is beyond like finishing those volumes, the amount of Torah. I think someone did calculations once. It's like just 1 million pages of Torah. Wait, maybe it's like here, somewhere here. Maybe not. I have to find you the pages of Torah that amounts to. But really, like, what do you say, Samson?
Maybe Rabbeinu is going to tell us, in addition to us also having to learn all those things, we also need to have the belief that we're able to learn all those things. Meaning to say, you just listed off a whole list of amazing achievements that even some great scholars don't achieve such things in a single year. But Rabbeinu says, believe that you actually have the possibility to advance in your Torah learning and actually get things done. Believe that you can, okay, at least attempt it. There's a great book, children's book, and I'm sure everyone knows, the 2 brothers, Yossi and Label. Yossi and Label, one of the books. The idea is you'll never succeed if you're not willing to try. This was one of the. This is like every one of the books has like a single. It's a single theme, and this was one of the themes. Everyone's trying to tell us here: you'll never succeed if you're not willing to try. So obviously, we can look at it. This whole mountain of Torah learning that Rabbeinu defines for us as a good thing for a person to finish in a single year and say, what do I shaykhus do I have to? I can't even finish 1 page of Gemara. I can't even finish one line of Chumash, 1 pasuk. You say, okay. Rabbeinu is trying to tell you, you can say the word Aleph, you can say the letter Beis, you can say Gimel, and then eventually you can say a pasuk. And knows that we say before a lot of the mitzvot that we do, should have in mind that these mitzvot should be connected to the Taryag mitzvot. You need to say that embedded in this one little mitzvah, I'm learning how to say the word Aleph Bet, I'm connecting to all the 613 mitzvot, and you know that Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam, I'm learning 1 word of Torah, and it's as if I'm doing everything that Hashem, that Rabbi Nachman and Hashem has defined for us. It's not to be Messiahish and say we have so much to do. It's to say, Gewalt, we believe in ourselves. Even a little bit. That's what I wrote in the chat. Rabbi Nachman says a little bit is also good.
A little bit is also good.
And with that, I do have to go.
Reb, you're the best. You're the best. Thank you for that. I need that so badly. Thank you.
I'll see you then.
All right, be well. So before we enter into part 4, we're gonna conclude with part 3. Thank you, Samson. Besides this, you should spend some time each day studying in depth. You should also say Tehillim each day, as well as many additional prayers. even all this does not exhaust the Rebbe's list. At that time, the Rebbe also spoke at length, telling us to study quickly and eagerly without confusion or over attention to detail. Bezrat Hashem Chevra. There's also, I was in Yerushalayim today. I was by a special place, Baruch Hashem, special base midrash, and we're going to go over a little teaching by Rav Itchamar Morgenstern regarding Torah. My limited understanding of his teachings and the Hebrew language, but Baruch Hashem, what we see here, where he talks about in the chapter of Torah and Derech L'Maisa, he talks about how one needs to learn in small boxes, right? We know Rabbeinu is telling us to learn with speed and simplicity, but he's also telling us to return to these teachings eventually, right? So you go through the Shulchan Aruch once, you go through it again and again and again and again and again. But what's so deep here, and Rav Itchamar points out to us, is that we learn, we basically like take like pieces of Torah, like, right now, mamash, like a small box in Rav Itchamar, and learn this piece, mamash, and go inside of it. Go inside of it, right? Be mitbonen on it. And through our writings, through our machshavos, right, and our thoughts and how we view it, right, go deep into that little box of Torah that you set aside for yourself. It could be one letter, one line, one passage of Torah, and mamish enter into the deepest depths of it and to feel the or Eloki, taste the honey of the Torah within that passage. It may be hard when we're going through the halachos, when we're going through the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, and we all know Rabbeinu, like, probably the simplistic understanding of it, from Rabbeinu's perspective, was the sweetest of the sweet, right? But, Bezrat Hashem, we should all get to the place soon. Laws and mitzvahs are hard, they're mamish hard, and it may be really hard to find the sweetness in it. But mamish, should we set aside one piece of Torah to find that sweetness, to find our kesher within it, we can mamash see the or Eloki inside of it, right? And feel this dveikut with Hashem. And he even says that it's very good to return to this passage over and over and over again, right? This original box, this first box that you set out for yourself. We all know Rabbeinu's teachings are all introductions. He tells us in Sichot Haran, think 207 or 200, forgetting, but they're all introductions, and we could take one piece of Rabbeinu and just go over and over and over and over again, and this will awaken, like this Rav Itchamar says, a nigun inside of you, a nigun inside of us, and to think about the or Eloki inside the words, inside the depth of the Torah, the chachma in it. Right, and we'll basically say to ourselves, there will be a time where we say that I literally absorbed the Ribono Shel Olam and the sweetness of Torah inside of me. It's mamish inside of me, right? And afterwards we'll begin to understand. We'll begin to learn and to understand this very well. And the Torah that we're learning. And he says, "Zeh, Seder Avodah," right? Zeh, Seder Avodah. And with that, Chevra, Bezrat Hashem, we should have a great night. We shall be healthy, happy, and successful, fired up, be well, and have a good night. So that.